Hey guys, welcome back to a brand new video here on my YouTube channel. And for today's book review, we are going to be reviewing Wait With Me by Amy Daws. Now, I picked this one up at HomeSense because sometimes the HomeSense book aisle pops off and sometimes it doesn't. And last weekend it popped off. I got 3 books, all $16.99, which I think is a much better deal than if I were to actually buy them at the bookstore. Okay, so this one I gave it 4 stars. I have not given a book 4 stars in a while because I tend to give like the lowest rating is 4.5 stars. But I've decided to sort of like rethink how I'm rating my books because sometimes the books that I rate 4.5 stars are okay, but just like they're lacking something. And this book was enjoyable. I did think it had like a unique sort of premise to it. I just felt like it lacked a bit of emotional depth, and sometimes that can almost make it a tad bit like boring. It wasn't quite boring, but like it was just missing that emotional depth that I love in books. Not all books have to have like a ton, and this had like okay, I guess it had like a teeny bit. It just needed a bit more for me to give it like 4.5 stars, but I did enjoy it. So it follows Kate Smith, who goes by a pen name. I don't remember what her full pen name is. I just know that the first name of her pen name is Mercedes. And it also follows Miles Hudson, who is a mechanic. So basically, Kate Smith is a writer who has writer's block, and she takes her car into the tire depot to get it fixed. And the tire depot has the customer comfort center where there are tables and chairs, and there's complimentary coffee and pastries. And so she goes there and she goes with her computer while she's waiting for her car to be fixed. And suddenly her writer's block just like disappears while she's in the tire depot. So she thinks it's like the tire depot. So she comes back every day that it's open during the week. She sneaks in through the employee door, has some of the complimentary coffee and some of the complimentary pastries, and just writes. And then basically she comes out and she trips and stumbles into Miles Hudson, who is out there having like a licorice treat after like fixing a car. He's on his break, and he mentioned that he like has noticed her coming back in and out, and she just like doesn't say why at first. And he says he's like not gonna say anything. And then one day he decides to actually go up and talk to her at the customer comfort center. And then she mentions like, oh, that she's a writer and she writes like spicy books and stuff. And she ends up not saying her real name. She says her pen name, I think, because like that's just what came out first. And so he knows her as Mercedes and not as Kate Smith. And then basically you have the third act situation, which is basically where he learns what her real name is and that she's been hiding her real name from him, even though she's been wanting to tell him for a while. She just hasn't. Um, this book was good. Again, I just think it was missing something, and I think that something was a little bit more emotional depth in it. It was like a light and fluffy read. I read it in one day, which has been a while since I read a book in one day. Because usually, my books I like read them in like different spurts. Like I'll read like for an hour and a half or an hour, like a couple hours. But it's been a while since I've like finished an entire book in one day. And I finished this one in one day because it was like a short book. I think it was only like 273 pages. Again, not my like favorite book I read this week. Is probably my like least favorite. I still give it like 4 stars, so it's still like a good read. If you want something like just fluffy and easy and just simple, I would recommend this one. I think you could probably read this on like an airplane. If you're like on a like a 4 or 5 hour flight, you could probably read this in like one sitting. That's just how easy it is. So, and it's like a small book, so easy to bring. But yeah, not my favorite that I read this week. I don't regret picking it up because I think sometimes it's okay to read some fluffy reads, and I think like not every book we're gonna read is gonna be like a 5 star book. So yeah, I have no regrets picking it up. I still did enjoy it, but I only gave it 4 stars. So that is all for this video. If you want to see more videos from me, you can hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so you never miss another brand new video from me. You can also follow me on Instagram and Threads by going to @romanceblvd. That means Romance Boulevard, and @Romance Boulevard all spelled out on TikTok. Until the next time, bye.